Holy crap, guys, the Rise of Kylo Ren comic issue number 1 is crazy. Dropping some serious spoilers going into the Rise of Skywalker. What's up, guys? I'm Justin. Welcome and thank you for stopping by Geekdom Podcast, where we're going through everything that is Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Disney, everything nerd and geekdom alike. So let's just jump into it. In this episode, I'm going to be breaking down issue number 1. If you have not read it, please go check this out. It's amazing, guys. So this is going to be kind of like my breakdown / reaction kind of episode, but also I'm going to be talking about just very briefly the Star Wars Battlefront 2 update, the Celebration update, as well as the Rise of Skywalker update. And there is going to be some other updates just to kind of throw up there in the future months and quarters and stuff like that. Guys, this Celebration update and the Rise of Skywalker update, that alone is literally has taken this game from a 6.8 rating. I think it was on GameFAQs. I'm not sure. GameSpot, going from a 6.8 to an 8.8 or 8.9. That's crazy, guys. And being that I have been putting some hours in to this game, it is absolutely that. There is over 350 plus added features into this game. That I was talking with somebody. This is kind of like that Ghost Recon game that came out on the Xbox One. I think it's also PS4. Has just been releasing so many updates. It's still relevant to this day. This game is like 6-7 years old. I don't know, something like that. But guys, Battlefront 2 with the Rise of Skywalker update, as well as the Celebration update, which Celebration update is kind of like, they fixed a whole bunch of specs on characters and features of characters, added new maps, added new games. Now these maps are humongous, guys. I got a chance to play a plethora of the new maps, as well as the Rise of Skywalker maps that just came out. I think it was only one map that came out with that. Man, I mean, just not just Galactic Assault, but Supremacy. The maps are huge. It's a 40 plus 40 game, but it's again, you're going from land to sky, and I think the only ones that I don't know if it's in a rotation. I haven't really been following the DICE Twitter account or any of the creators on that, but I've only been on Geonosis, but dang, this map is huge, guys. You talk about the Attack of the Clones battlefield. Great. And also with Anakin, Obi-Wan, a whole bunch of the characters that they've kind of update and tweaked a little bit, putting more of the armor from the Clone Wars, really bringing that in. I've actually hit up DICE. I tweeted DICE this morning, and I said, is there any way that we can get some Mandalorian update in the future? Of course, they didn't tweet back, but I'm going to be literally riding all these creators' coattails to see if we're going to get some Mandalorian updates, because I would love to play with Pascal's character. I would love to play that. So, that's the same, because, again, he's not like Boba Fett. He's going to be like maybe like Phasma. I don't know, somebody like that. But, yeah, there's also, I guess I'll put this in more in our Twitter. If you want to hit us up, I'll give you some details of that. If you are on PC, there is a whole bunch of mods with this new Celebration, as well as the Rise of Skywalker, that people have created, and it's legit. So it's pretty cool new characters, as well as some featured one in the Clone Wars and Rebels. So that's pretty much my Battlefront 2 kind of spec thing, because this episode is pretty much my reaction / breakdown of Kylo Ren episode 1, issue 1. And I'm trying to think. I'm not going to really talk about Mandalorian episode 7 because it was amazing, but I'm going to actually do another episode of that, put that out hopefully by tonight, if not tomorrow. But again, guys, if you are new to the channel, or if you have been listening, please hit subscribe, as well as leave a review. It really helps us. But remember, we are doing a special episode Friday where I'm bringing my friend Jordan Revis from Sort of, and forgot his YouTube channel. Still tell him that. But we'll bring him on, and we're we're going to be actually breaking the film down, but also on YouTube tomorrow night. Hopefully I'm doing it around 11 or 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be actually doing a YouTube video of just pretty much a reaction to The Rise of Skywalker, breaking as much as I could or can down. That's literally, I'm doing a special one right when I get out of the theater. Right when I get out of the theater. So yeah. So let's talk about and let's break this down. Oh, the rise of Kylo Ren. Now, I know a lot of the Star Wars fans, they don't like Kylo Ren. They really don't. I love him. I think there's a lot to the character, just like any other character that is introduced the way it's introduced with Kylo into these kind of sequel trilogies, as well as Darth Maul. You don't really get a lot. Again, I remember seeing Darth Maul, falling in love with him, and then at the end of the film, he dies. I go, crap. And then we got Clone Wars that really bringing him back. And then we got Rebels really, really brought him back. And just novels and all that. So let's understand before we kind of get into this. Star Wars, and I'm standing behind this. I've said it before. Star Wars does this job way better than Marvel does, because their content is canonized throughout novelizations, comics, and other things, and not just films. Okay, they're really coming back. They're really not coming back. They're really solidifying themselves on the streaming/TV network now, and that's really exciting to see, because again, even though, yes, we have one more episode of Mandalorian before the first season ends, which I wish it went to maybe a 45 or an hour episode, because again, I'm wanting more of the Mandalorian. They're doing such a great job with it. What they're doing with The Rise of Skywalker, they're setting up a whole bunch, and they have been doing this ever since episode 7. They have, well, not even episode 7, they've been doing this all trilogies. They'll set up characters and put them in a position to create novels and books and comic series just to explore more of canonized things. And if you are new to that type of word, any type of person that's in Marvel, DC, Star Wars, all these type of contents that's out, there's all these books that come out, and there's one of the things that I use all the time: is it canon? Because if it's literally not canonized, if it's not the real legitimate connection to the storylines, and not just a fan base thing that's like, oh, we're just having fun with this, I don't really want to read it. I want to read the canonized things. So The Rise of Kylo Ren coming out in just today. Through Marvel Comics. If you haven't known that, Star Wars Comics goes through Marvel Comics, and not, I believe they used to be in Dark Horse, I think. Release of this episode, I keep on calling it episode, guys. Guys, I have episode issues all through my head, so just, you know what I mean. Breaking this down really quickly, we are introduced right in the get-go of the Knights of Ren, and this really cool looking character that kind of looks like, I forgot that guy's name. He starts with an M, like Malakos or something like that. That is actually in Star Wars: The Fallen Order game that just recently came out. That again is canon to the actual timeline. A really cool looking character. He has kind of this metal helmet. It kind of looks like something from Naruto. I don't know. I don't really watch Naruto. See how that's how much I don't watch it, because I literally pronounce his name twice differently. Naruto, something like that. He looks like a character from that. I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to mind. But we have this. He has this metal kind of helmet. You can't see his face. He's literally have no shirt. He looks like he's burnt or literally healing in motion. Kind of looks like this kind of ninja character in a way. Something kind of look like that character from the Knights of the Old Republic 2, right in that kind of Sith character that's kind of like in the beginning in that lost ship that he's kind of look like he's decaying. Kind of looks like that. So we really don't know much about him. He says in the beginning, "I'm Ren," but he goes like, "That's not really my name." Kind of goes back and forth, a weird dialogue, and there looks like this kind of star fight. Like these people, these brothers really are kind of protecting themselves, and this metal helmet guy from the Knights of Ren are kind of recruiting him in a way, and in order to join, they have to do something and kind of pay it with blood and da-da-da-da. So the brother kills, I think, the younger brother, and then that guy, the metal helmet dude from the Knights of Ren, from this conversation in this context, we're going to be calling him Ren because I don't want to call him the metal helmet dude. Pretty much just like he sees and pretty much like positions him to kill his little brother, kills his little brother, and then to kind of like get into the Knights of Ren, he kind of manipulates him to make him think that he's going to be in, and then Ren just kills him, like just like that, and shows in kind of like showcasing a feature of the Knights of Ren. Quickly goes into the Jedi Temple, literally being on fire. What we've shown in Episode 7 and Episode 8, and we've just seen like that in the movies in 7 and 8. So they're exploring that a little bit more of the backstory of that. So Ben Solo's there, and some of the Jedis, which I've thought all of them died, but it just kind of just shows right there. There's 3 of the Jedis, or Padawans, that kind of like not interrupted, but kind of like came behind Ben and says, you know what's going on. So there is some dialogue, some little fighting going on, and Ben Solo gets into his ship, which actually looks like a really, really cool ship, flies out, and the Jedi or the Padawans kind of follow him. And there was some dialogue there where Ben says, "You're not really Jedis," and he was like, "Why?" "Because you're scared. You're full of fear. You're scared of me, And Jedis don't fear." So, he does this really cool maneuver because, his grandfather and his father is some of the best pilots in history, right? His father being, of course, Han Solo, and his grandfather, of course, Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, right? So, he does this kind of maneuver, basically taking out their engines, and basically, does light speed to this location where, holy crap, Snoke is. It looks like this, like, greenhouse planet that he's in. I don't know really how big the scale of this thing is, but the ship goes in, and it's a very, I don't want to say young Snoke. It doesn't look like a young Snoke, but it's something with what he's wearing kind of make him look like E.T. I don't know, I'm just saying that. But so one of the things here Snoke says is, basically, my boy. Now, the potential spoiler that is in this, because we kind of know some of the leaks that have been out that Snoke has been controlled all this time with Palpatine over these centuries, I guess decades, I'm not saying century, but this decades, and literally made clones of Snoke. Okay, all right, yeah. That's really emphasizes that spoiler right there. That could be true. Really, really, really could be true because of the fact that he says my boy, but also says my boy in the feature trailer of Kylo Ren, but we did an episode about, that says my boy. So that's a really, really good connection there. But also goes in, there's some dialogue saying that, you're free of the will now, like, where are you going to go now? And I'm kind of cutting corners here because Kylo says, I've been really thinking about the Knights of Ren, and kind of calls it right there. And that's the end of issue 1. But there is this section in the 3/4 into the issue where there is another callback to his altercation between him and Luke, which seriously, we literally just saw that in episode 8. And at the end of that, we are led to believe in episode 8, The Last Jedi, that Ben Solo destroyed the temple. But there has been a very similar encounter in episode 8 where Luke Skywalker is trying to get the scrolls, and pretty much Yoda calls down lightning on the old tree and the old text, right? The Jedi text. There is something that recently happens in that thing. Guys, get ready. Ben Solo is looking at the temple and pretty much having this conversation, I guess, with himself. And there is another voice. We don't know who it is. We don't know if it's Snoke. We don't know if it's Palpatine. But again, we know in the featurette, Palpatine's literally said, I have been talking to you. I've been inside your mind all this time, going between Snoke himself and Darth Vader's voice. Okay? The temple, he's looking at the temple. All of a sudden, it just explodes. Ben Solo did not lift a hand. So what does that say? Ben Solo never destroyed the Jedi Temple, but is led to believe that he did. So, holy crap, did Palpatine actually reach into the Force like Yoda did in a way, and manipulated the weather to strike it down and explode? We don't know, but we are left like that. And the two greatest callbacks is that literally the "my boy" phrase that Snoke uses, and the biggest one, that Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, did not destroy the Jedi Temple that Luke Skywalker built after Episode 6. Holy crap. Guys, I want to know what you think. Have you read it? If you haven't read it, being that you heard it already, what do you guys think? Guys, you have to get into this issue. I don't know if it's going to release every Wednesday or once a month. But again, if you want to find out here, just subscribe. That's all you really have to do. And if you guys have been listening, please leave a review. It really, really helps us get out there. And if you know of any more geeks and nerds out there about all this stuff of Star Wars, please share it. It'd be much obliged. All right, guys, thank you for taking time out of your busy days to hear us nerds and geeks rant about this stuff. I'm Justin. Thanks for stopping by the Geekdom. Peace.